Hello, good day, students. I'm now starting a series of a couple videos for Iscpdi. So I'm looking at the Iscpdi guideline, and in this segment I'll give an overview of question number 1 and question number 2 in assignment task 1. Alright, so I'm not going to waste time. Task 1, question number 1, executive summary. So the executive summary will be done last, more or less. This is an overview of the particular task. And when I say overview, I'm talking about it's like an abstract then. Just giving some very brief insight of what your task, right, would have covered, highlighting the major themes in that task. All right, so this task would have spoken about supply chain networks and challenges that supply chain networks would have faced, and so on. And you can mention these things in your executive summary among other themes, right? So the executive summary, I wouldn't worry too much about it. You will do it at the end, and it's an overview of your report, or this part of the report. Now let's look at question number 2 in task 1. Question number 2, task 1. Introduction of the chosen organization and background to the need for supply network design change. Now, introduction. Again, a very brief introduction of your company. So, what is that about? A background of your company, what the company is about, the type of business, what are their goals, probably what are their achievements. Now, these guidelines that I have in red, I mean, they are just guidelines. They are good guidelines, but you can have an additional perspective, right? But just follow my flow. All right. So I would say this: I've encouraged students to choose certain organizations. What do I mean by that? Choose organizations where a supply chain, where you can make that connection with a supply chain. The best organizations to choose will be those in manufacturing, whether it be Nestle, Starbucks, Toyota, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Coca-Cola, Lego, Tesla, IKEA, right? Ford, these companies. It's going to be difficult if you choose a very service-oriented company. Let's say a company that's in the insurance field. You don't want to choose that company. Banking, yes, there's procurement in banking, but you don't want to choose that company. It's going to be difficult. So choose a company that is in manufacturing, right? Good. So you give a short background of the company. And then what else you do? There's a need for you to talk about the design change, or the need for some design change. Now, when we say design change, or the design change of your network, we're talking about, the positioning of different players in your supply chain network. So, for example, in one company, a distributor might be in Panama, one might be in India, one might be in Puerto Rico, right? One might be in the Bahamas, right? And then you may have retailers in certain parts of the globe. Then their suppliers might be located in Germany, things like that. So if you look at the supply chain, if you sketch the supply chain of any company, right, you would see, the tentacles of that supply chain all over the globe, right? And that is the way the supply chain is designed, right? And that is it's a critical part of your supply chain, right? The whole global layout of your supply chain, right? You would see it with Boeing as well. Boeing, they have suppliers all over the world. So anyway, introduction of the chosen organization and background to the need for supply network design change. So what is that about? Let me read from my guidelines. How do you proceed? So a background might include the following information. I have that here: type of business, its goals, achievements, a brief insight of the company's challenges, right? Okay. Challenges within the supply chain network. Now, just a caveat, right? Or just a plug-in here. When we say supply chain network, we're really talking about a very complex supply chain. Now, in your research, you may see information on supply chain challenges. I'm saying that you can adopt that as a supply chain network challenge, right? So you may not see narrative saying supply chain network challenge. You may see supply chain challenge. That's fine. You can use that as a supply chain network challenge, all right? Just wanted to make mention of that. All right, so again, question 2 there's not much going on there. Question 2, introduction of the chosen organization and background to the need for supply chain network design. So you're given a little insight, all right, on the need for supply chain network design, particularly based on the challenges the company would have had, right? So see if I can give an example. BMW though, during the early days of the pandemic, all right, BMW had indicated that they had put contingencies in place, so they had alternative suppliers, all right. But there are other companies who suffered dearly. The supply chain network was heavily dependent on one region or one company, all right. So when there were challenges getting the raw material in one region / one company that is in that region, it led to a total shutdown of their supply chain, right? So there is some need for design changes as we speak now. Many organizations are rethinking their supply chain network and looking to change the whole layout or the whole design of their supply chain. All right, I hope you got that. So just recapping one more time, a background might include the following information which I have here, and a brief insight of its challenges. And these challenges must be discussed in the context of the supply chain network, right? In particular, right? How the supply chain network is structured, where their distributors are. So some companies might be having challenges with distributors in a particular region for whatever reason, might be quality issues or might be shipping challenges and so on, right? So that is my little note there, 7 minutes for task 1, question 1 and 2. All right, I'll be back.